This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legend. Join us as we take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Hello and welcome to Holocron Histories podcast, where we talk about Star Wars canon versus legends. I am Austin, otherwise known as Teacup, and I'm one of your hosts, and I'm here with my other host.
Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria. You were really muffled
Oh.
when you started that.
I'm used to being closer to the other microphone, and this one doesn't need you to be that close. So I'll back up a little bit, make
That's
sure
better.
we're not. Yeah.
That's much better. But we are here to bring you Star Wars lore, like normal. And I thought this was a fun one to do because, surprisingly enough, we haven't gone over these specific group yet on the show, which they play, a major part in the Lucasfilm Disney era of Star Wars.
Yes, they do. They do play a major role, and it's just hard to really get, or not really hard, but I know there are people with a lot of feelings about these individuals and whether or not they're
Yeah.
good things for the fandom.
Yeah, that's true. But regardless, however if you don't like them, if you like them, it doesn't really matter because they're going to be using them. So, specifically, we're talking about the Ones, or also known as the Mortis Gods. And if you don't know who the Mortis Gods are, go watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Just go watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Because they're in a 5-episode arc?
Yes.
I think it's 5 episodes or something like that. It's around 5 or 6. But the Mortis Gods were a powerful family of Force wielders that reside on the planet Mortis. They consisted of the son, who aligned with the dark side of the Force, the daughter, who aligned with the light side of the Force, and the father, who represented the balance of the Force. This sounds familiar.
Yes, it does.
So both the son and the daughter were immortal, so long as the father remained alive. They could only be killed by the dagger of Mortis, which I'm trying to remember, because we see this in? Yeah, we do see this in the Mortis arc.
You do.
I can't remember if we did or not. So in 20 BBY, the family encountered the Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Padawan Ahsoka Tano. During their encounter, the father attempted to convince Skywalker to assume his role as the balance between the son and daughter. However, the son attempted to prevent Skywalker from assuming that role, leading to a conflict that ended with the deaths of the daughter and the father, who killed himself to allow Skywalker to defeat the son. And oh boy, does this arc get crazy. It gets very intense. Probably one of my favorite arcs, honestly. And the family was also depicted in a painting on the Lothal Jedi Temple, which served as a portal to the world between worlds. The Ones were also depicted as sculptures on the extragalactic planet of Padera, carved into a face of a rocky mountain overlooking a valley towards a starry peak. And Perdera is the planet that we go to in Ahsoka, specifically. The last scene of the show is you see, is it Balin, right? Balin?
Yes.
On this sculpture of the father. And you see the Mortis gods and like giant sculptures. Showcasing they are not just part of the galaxy that we know of. They're a part of another galaxy.
Or they're just cosmic beings in the
Yeah.
universe.
Well, that's also true. Because, it's essentially... So, get into a little religious things here. This is equivalent to like Christianity with the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. I know. It's a Trinity trifecta.
Sure.
Yes and no. Kind of. Sure. Not really. I don't know. It's Star Wars. It's the Force. It's magic.
For those of you who don't know, I have several degrees in religious
Yeah.
education. And so, no, the Mortis gods are not a one-for-one comparison to the Trinity. Nor are they, would I say, a true Trinitarian analogy either.
Okay.
It is much more in line with Hindu Buddhist beliefs of balance and opposing forces, and a much more there's a religion called Zoroastrianism. It's much more in line with that than it is with the Christian idea of the Trinity, for a very sole purpose, as I'll explain. The Trinity this is very fancy. They are one in function,
Oh,
which
yeah.
which means that the Son cannot do things that the Father can't do. The Holy Spirit cannot do things that the Son and Father cannot do. They all can do all of the same things. They just are different. The term we use is persons, persons of the Trinity. So there's that to actually say like, okay, Jesus the Son does this and the Holy Spirit does this is a form of heresy and is not Trinitarian theology.
Gotcha.
Really.
Okay. See, this
So
is
the
why
Mortis gods,
it's good to have
the
you on the
Mortis
show
gods,
for this, because it's going all over my head.
right. That's a brief explain. There's a great book called Trinity 101 by James Papandrea, if you want to read it, if you're interested. But that's the Sparks Note version.
Yeah. All right, cool. Moving on back to Star Wars because it's more interesting stuff. So get into the background. Well, yeah, religion's also interesting too. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just mean.
Yeah, that's. Get into the background of the Mortis gods. So they reside in the ethereal realm of Mortis, which exists on the spiritual plane of the remote. Oh God, Cerulean system of Wild Space. This is a really funky system name. It looks like a freaking something like a drug. It's weird.
Yeah.
The family was force sensitive, embodied the different ways of tapping into the force. Both the son, who embodied the dark side of the force, and the daughter, who embodied the light, were immortal as long as the father lived, in which we've gone over. The son and daughter were capable of shape-shifting into a gargoyle and a griffin, respectively, which was cool. That was cool to see, not going to lie. While Mortis served as both a sanctuary and prison for the family, there was a belief that it was the origin point of the Force and acted as a conduit for all things connected to it, which allowed the Father to keep watch over the balance of the Force throughout the entire galaxy. However, midichlorians, which bound all living things to the energy field and its will, originated at the wellspring of life near the center of the galaxy. Although the daughter remained loyal to the father, the son succumbed to the dark side's corruption and sought to supplement his father, threatening to upend the balance. As much dark side crap goes on. So prior to the Imperial Age, or Imperial era, the Ones were depicted in a painting on the Lethal Jedi Temple, which served as a portal to the spiritual realm known as the World Between Worlds. In addition, the Ones were also known on the extragalactic planet of Padera in the far galaxy. Their sculptures, their image, were carved into the face of a rocky mountain overlooking a valley towards a starry peak, as I've also gone over. So now we are getting into Clone Wars material. If you have not seen any of this stuff, stop listening, go watch Clone Wars, come back, because this is going to be spoilers basically for the whole entire arc. So during the Clone Wars, news reached the father that the Chosen One, a prophesized figure in the Jedi legend who would bring balance to the Force, has been found. The father lured the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker, to Mortis, which intrigued both the son and the daughter. Putting his plan into action, the father used a 2,000-year-old Jedi distress signal to lure Skywalker and his companions, Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and Padawan Ahsoka Tano, to the Trillium system. There, the Jedi shuttle was pulled into a galactic crystal-shaped structure known as the Mortis Monolith, which was trippy. Seeing a giant prism thing in space, that was weird. Shortly after landing, the daughter revealed herself to Skywalker and his Jedi companions or comrades, and offered to take them to the father. On the way, the daughter and the Skywalker were separated from Kenobi and Tano by a rock sent by the son. Though the daughter asked for him to wait, Skywalker instead decided to send Kenobi and Tano back to their ship to call for help. Kenobi and Tano returned to their landing sites, only to discover the shuttle gone. The son introduced himself to the two Jedi, asking Kenobi if Skywalker was indeed the Chosen One. Later that night, Skywalker traveled to the monastery, where they encountered an old man who turned out to be the father. After Skywalker, Kenobi, and Tano received separate visions of his mother, Shmi, the Force ghost of his late master, Qui-Gon Jinn, and the future version of herself, respectively, Skywalker confronted the father, who introduced himself and his children. After explaining the identity of the Ones, the father told Skywalker that he and his Jedi comrades were free to leave when Skywalker had undergone a test to prove that he was indeed the Chosen One, and for Skywalker to confront his own guilt. Which, this would have gone fairly well if Anakin didn't get caught up in his own head, in my opinion. And, the son didn't try to corrupt him. The following morning, Skywalker faced his test. The son and the daughter had kidnapped Tano and Kenobi, and Skywalker was forced to choose from which he would save. Skywalker used Mortis Force amplifying properties to force the son and daughter to release their hostages and assume their humanoid forms. After commending Skywalker for passing the test, the father invited the Jedi Knight to assume his true role as the balance between his children, but warned that he would endanger the galaxy if he chose to leave. Despite his strong misgivings, Skywalker chose to leave. And does it go bad because he leaves? We all know what happens to Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then now, so before the Jedi visitors could leave to their starship, the son put his plans into action. After failing to convince Skywalker to embrace the dark side in a dream, he kidnapped Tano and spared her away to his cathedral. There, the son infected Tano with the dark side, corrupting her. While Skywalker headed to the cathedral to rescue the Padawan, Kenobi sought out the father. Meanwhile, the father argued with the son, urging him to let go of the dark side. The son refused and attacked the father with force lightning before fleeing. Yeah. The son's kind of like a jerk, but the son's also voiced by Sam Witwer, so I can't also be mad because it's Sam Witwer.
Right.
Kenobi arrived at the Mortis monastery and attempted to convince the daughter to help him stop the son before leaving Mortis. Though the daughter refused to raise her hand against her brother, she showed Kenobi the dagger of Mortis, the only weapon capable of harming the sun. At the sun's cathedral, Skywalker was forced to fight a corrupt Tano and then turned into a pawn of the sun. Kenobi accompanied the daughter to confront the sun. The daughter resolved not to let her brother leave the planet. While Kenobi went to help Skywalker, the daughter faced down the sun in a contest of force powers. Despite this weakened state, the father also entered the fray and ended the fight between the children. The son gained the upper hand over the father, overwhelming him with force lightning. And then during said fight, Tano managed to take the dagger from Kenobi before he could hand it to Skywalker. The father was horrified when the daughter had revealed the existence of the dagger to the off-worlders. Tano then passed the dagger to the son. Having outlived her usefulness, the son then drained her life force, killing her. In a rage, Skywalker attacked the son, but was repelled by a powerful force wielder. Before the son could stab the weakened father with the dagger Mortis, the daughter threw herself between, taking the blade meant to the father. Overcome by the guilt of fatality, wounding his sister, the son fled. Yeah, things get heated in this 5-episode arc. It's really insane of story and drama. And in the final moments, the daughter used Skywalker as a conduit to resurrect Tano from the dead, while also purging the darkness with her. Due to the death of the daughter, the balance of the Force was upset. The Mortis began descending into darkness, and grieving father implored the Jedi to leave before son could take their ship and escape the planet. He also warned them that with the balance disrupted, the dark side and the Sith would gain the upper hand in the galaxy. He warned the Jedi to escape before the son could escape off-world in their starship. The Jedi then left him to mourn his fallen daughter. Yeah, and hence why, the father's foretelling of Anakin leaving the planet would doom the galaxy. It's because of that. And, oh boy, did it turn the galaxy on its head. Him becoming a Sith Lord and being the embodiment of the dark side, besides the Emperor. The Emperor being the embodiment of the dark side. Yeah, not the best. But, with that being said, I think it's a good time to take a mid-break.
All right, well, let's get to it.
Visible puts the ultimate wireless hack in the palm of your hand. With unlimited 5G wireless data and hotspot designed to keep you connected, powered by Verizon's 5G network. And no contract holding you back. Plans start at $25 a month, or get the premium Visible Plus Pro plan and save $10 on your first month when you use promo code HACK. Make the switch at Visible.com. Terms apply. See Visible.com for details.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
All right. Welcome to the middle of the show where we take time to mention our patrons. Thank you to all of our patrons who support us on the show. We greatly appreciate all of it. And if you'd like to do us, you can do so at patreon.com/holocronhistories. Also, you can support us by leaving ratings and reviews on Apple or Spotify. If you do that and leave us 5 stars and some kind words, we will read your review out on an episode of the show. Do we have any comments or reviews to read today?
We have one comment from our... Oh, shoot. I had to pull it up. Our Galen Merrick Star Killer Part 1 episode from Nathal. Star Killer.
The mood.
Yeah, because, Star Killer falls a lot. Like a lot. Especially
It's
if
true.
you can't handle him well in combat. Anyway, but yeah, that's all we have for reviews and comments.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And again, if you'd like to do that and have your comment or review read out on a future episode of the show, you can do that. Another great way to support us is to come and hang out with us on Discord. If you want to talk about Star Wars or anything else that's upcoming that you're really excited about, you can hang out with us on the Cups Podcasting Discord, the Been Friends Podcasting Discord. I always say the Cups first, and that's just because that's the first one in my brain. But
That's fine.
I could say Ben's first. Yeah, Ben's first could come to Ben and Friends Podcasting. You can hang out with us there and talk about Star Wars and all things that happen and go on there. You can find us both there. And that's all I have for the middle of the show.
Yeah. And you can also find us live on my Twitch channel every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/Ben of Temeria. And I will say, SWTOR is going to be getting a big update. And has anybody have noticed, they're going to be doing a really big graphic update. They're updating a lot of the graphics of a lot of the base game planets, as well as certain races and character creations going to get an uplift in graphics and texture looks. So it's going to look a lot nicer. I know they added some new content from some new series. I think Skeleton Crew and something else they've added recently to the cartel market. Also, if you have any inactive characters before the next update, which is 7.6, character names are going to be up for grabs. So be aware, everybody. Character names could be up for grabs if they're inactive.
What does that mean?
Anybody can use your name.
Oh.
Your character, the character
people
name.
Are gonna use people are going to use my name, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. That will suck. I will say. But anyway, which I don't know how that's going to work. Really, it's just weird. But with that being said, let's get back into more Star Wars.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
All right, we're back. And now we're to the fall of the Mortis gods. So, things don't go well for them. Obviously, after Anakin has his feet in the pond, things pretty much. If Anakin has his hand on anything, it eventually becomes like dead, which is sad. A lot of things he touched dies. Now that I actually say that, a lot of things he touched dies. So, while laying the fallen daughter to rest in her crypt, the father expressed regret for believing he could control the future. He also laid the dagger Mortis on her chest after sealing her tomb, and the father was met by Skywalker, who offered to help. The father declined Skywalker's offer, fearing that his son would use the Jedi Knight's force powers to tip the balance of the Force, wreaking havoc in the galaxy. The father resolved to kill the son in order to stop him from endangering the galaxy before Skywalker left. The father told him that the Force would not decide their fates and to search inside himself for the answer of what must be done. Yeah. And then after receiving guidance from the Force Ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn, Skywalker traveled to the well of the dark side in the depths of the Mortis to confront the son. The father later traveled to the Jedi starship and told Kenobi and Tano about Skywalker's whereabouts. Despite the father's warning not to interfere, Kenobi departed on his speeder bike to aid Skywalker and tasked Tano with guarding the ship. The son tried to convince Skywalker not to fight him and showed him the vision of the future. In the vision, Skywalker witnessed his fall to the dark side, the death of his wife Padme Amidala, and transformation into Darth Vader. The son appealed to Skywalker to join him and to prevent this vision from coming to pass. Yeah, and everything he showed Anakin was straight up facts, which is kind of scary. Like that was insane. And then Kenobi reached the well, only to discover that Skywalker had been corrupted. The Jedi would be an obstacle to the ending of the corrupted. Skywalker tossed Kenobi's speeder bike into the magma and warned Kenobi that the Jedi would be the obstacle to ending the Clone Wars. The sun struck Kenobi with force lightning after Skywalker left on his speeder bike. The sun told Kenobi that Skywalker was his now. Under the sun's influence, Kenobi returned to the Jedi shuttle. However, Kenobi had warned Tano about Skywalker's fall to the dark side and told her to disable the ship. Tano then stole Skywalker's speeder bike and rescued Kenobi from the well of the dark side. Like I said, this arc gets intense because you see a lot of things that we know for a fact happen, and there's nothing it was all meant to be for Anakin to fall. Skywalker briefed the son about the situation, fearing that the father and the other two Jedi would be too powerful for them. The son departed to recover the dagger Mortis from the daughter's crypt. The son confined his phenomenal love for his fallen sister. In the son's absence, the father confronted Skywalker, who explained to him that he joined forces with the son to prevent a terrible vision of the future from happening. Fearing that the vision would destroy balance and affect the future, the father purged Skywalker's memories of the vision, stating that his son broke the laws of time and showed him what was never should have been seen. What, like the truth? Because that's what the son just did. Like straight up showed him, like, this is what's going to happen. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. So the father brought Skywalker to the Mortis monastery and explained that he had erased the memory of the future vision. Shortly later, Skywalker was joined by Kenobi and Tano. Skywalker resolved to stop the son. The father agreed, but warned that they only had one chance. The son soon arrived at the monastery. The father pleaded with the son not to leave for the last time, and the son countered that Mortis was not his destiny. The father warned that the son's actions would destroy all that is good. Unwilling to reason with the son, the father told him that he must do what was necessary. Bum, bum, bum. You know that when someone says that, it's not going to end well.
Right.
The Jedi attacked the son, but was swept them away easily with the Force powers. The father was proceeded with his plans to stop the son by plunging the dagger Mortis into his own chest. The son was horrified by the father's suicide. Mortally wounded, the father explained that his son's powers were connected to his mortality. In the father's final moments, the two Force wielders embraced each other. The moment allowed Skywalker to kill the son with his lightsaber, with the son explaining that his father had betrayed him. With his dying breath, the father told Skywalker that he was the chosen one who would save the galaxy. Subsequently, both the son and the father fell to the ground, with the latter disappearing, leaving behind only his robes. The death of the father caused the realm of Mortis to disappear, bringing the Jedi back into their galaxy. Skywalker, Kenobi, and Tano learned that only a moment had passed since they lost contact with Rex's Jedi cruiser. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That happened.
So
I don't remember. Do they keep their memories of that? I don't remember. I thought they lost all memories of the Mortis.
I think they remember. So Anakin loses his memories of the Mortis arc.
Yeah. I think Ahsoka keeps hers though, right?
She might. I thought maybe. I can't remember.
They never really specified if they kept their memories intact from everything that happened in the Mortis. I don't know.
Right.
Never really
it's
specified.
ambiguous.
Yeah. Now going into their legacy. So prior to the liberation of the Fall, Imperial and Mining Guild forces led by Minister Varys Hayden discovered a painting of the Ones, who were called the Mortis Gods. During their excavation of the Lothal Jedi Temple, Emperor Palpatine believed that this painting served as a portal to the mythical realm known as the World Between Worlds. Hayden also believed the painting could help unlock the secrets of the Thal Temple. With the help of the Mandalorian rebel Sabine Wren and Jedi Ezra Bridger, who were able to unlock the painting, which created a portal to the World Between Worlds. Hayden captured Wren and interrogated her about unlocking the portal. During their interrogation, Hayden also discussed the Mortis gods, describing them as prominent figures in Jedi history. Hayden and Wren realized the figures of the ones held the key to the galaxy, to the gateway's locking mechanism. Inside the World Between Worlds, Bridger saved Tano from being killed by Darth Vader on Malachor by pulling her through a portal. The two then escaped Palpatine, exiting through different portals. Back on the Thal, Bridger sealed the gateway with the help of the fellow rebels, Zeb, Aurelios, and Chopper. Their actions caused the Thal Temple to collapse back into the planet, locking away its secrets from the Empire. Hayden also perished during the collapse. Yeah. Which was also a really cool arc. The World Between Worlds stuff in Star Wars Rebels was really cool. It is
I
not...
agree. I think...
And I think they specifically said it is not time travel, technically.
It is not, but I mean, it's time travel adjacent, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then during the New Republic era, the former Jedi General and mercenary Baylan Skoll sent something stirring the extragalactic world of Pandaria. During his quest, Skoll came across two sculptures of the Father and the Sons carved into a mountain. While standing on the outstretched arm of the Father, Skoll stared to the mountains beyond towards the apparent source of power calling to him, a flashing beacon of light off the farthest mountain. Yeah. Which I'm curious what they're going to do with Season 2 of Ahsoka. Because we have a Season 2 confirmed and in development. But sadly, this actor of Baylan Skoll did pass away shortly after, like literally a couple days after the premiere. Or after they got done filming. Which is extremely sad. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do going forward with that whole plot line. I'm curious because it is Dave Filoni doing it, so which is really, really cool. So we'll see. And last but not least, we do have behind the scenes. So in the release of Star Wars The Clone Wars, the complete Season 3 in DVD and Blu-ray, during their featurette off the episode Ghost of Mortis, Dave Filoni explains how Darth Revan and Darth Bane almost got into the episode, since George Lucas was looking for two ancient Sith Lords that, could bring some meaning, like a super evil influence guiding the Son, Dave Filoni, but that at the end, George Lucas retracted this decision due to how the Sith interact with the Force. Therefore, the scene with Revan and Bane wasn't possible. Dave Filoni also explained the importance of George Lucas's intensive involvement in this arc, due to the extensive relation with the different aspects of the Force that it has, and how important it was for him and the crew to get it all what was presented in the arc right. Which, yeah, I mean, I get it, and I think we talked about it on the show before. It was specifically with this, like Darth Bane and Darth Revan almost made their canonical appearance in this arc, but because how the Sith interact with the Force and why would the embodiment of the dark side talk to two ancient Sith Lords about the dark side doesn't make any sense.
I agree. I do think that makes sense, and that's kind of one of those things that George Lucas really stepped up and kind of did.
Yeah. I mean, George Lucas was involved with Star Wars The Clone Wars, but he was only heavily involved in certain moments, and one moment was specifically the Mortis stuff because Force. Because the Force. And good always prevails over evil.
Well, so before I always think that this is interesting because before Disney took over, they actually introduced the Mortis arc into Legends material, which is where we get, the Abeloth, the mother. And so it comes kind of like into a final headspace where like the ones or the Celestials, they've actually been involved in a bunch of species across the board. And there's actually another new evil that kind of is attached to them. And they like look for the Mortis dagger, and there's all kinds of stuff that's in the Fate of the Jedi series. So you can find that in there. But it's really interesting. I think that they really wanted a way to like bring that in for a long time, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Um, you can only do so much. Um, I kind of personally, I kind of wish they kept the Revan and Bane thing in there. Just more for the fact for Revan for myself. They canonized Bane later in season 6. That was
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was season 6 because it was originally the last season, quote unquote Yoda Chronicles, is what it was. Until season 7 started. Season 7's great.
Right.
But yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff. But yeah, that's all I have on the Mortis gods. Expect their info to get larger as time goes on. Specifically, whenever Ahsoka season 2 comes out, I'm sure we'll probably see something with the Mortis gods in that, due to the giant statues of a mountainside that they're carved from. So, which is interesting that there's only the son and the father, not the daughter.
Yeah, that is interesting.
But we do know it's been theorized that the owl that Ahsoka constantly has flying around her is the embodiment of the daughter itself. So there is that as well, which is interesting. But yeah, that's all I got. Do you have anything else for the show or episode or Mortis?
I don't think so.
Cool.
It is just interesting. They're interesting things, and I know people are just torn between that, but I think they should have been fleshed out more, and maybe we'll get more of that in whatever comes in Ahsoka season 2 or whatever. But who knows? Star Wars fans, just as a general thing, like we need to be kinder to the media that is posted, because imagine if they canceled The Office after season 1.
Right.
Imagine if they canceled Clone Wars after season 1. Like, give things more than one season as an opportunity before we start hating on the story's not done. At least let the story be finished. Or they canceled Rebels after season 1. Like,
I would have been distraught.
see,
yeah. But hey, we have Skeleton Crew comes out next month, and actually in a few weeks. And then Andor season 2, I believe, is in March or April. It's March or April, one of the two. Andor season 2 drops, which I am excited about that, because supposedly it ends literally right before Rogue One. Which is going to be really, really cool. So I'm excited for that. I still need to finish the first season. Much like I still need to finish Bad Batch.
Well, thanks for bringing this research, and thank you to all who listen to the Holocron Histories podcast. We'll see you next time.
And may the Force be with you. Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, and even at the Cups Podcast and More Discord. You can find us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories, and even email us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.